Welcome, coin collectors, history buffs, and treasure hunters. What if we told you that a simple 5-cent coin from 1954 could be worth a mind-blowing $49 million? Yes, you heard that right. This unassuming coin holds one of the most fascinating and valuable secrets in the world of numismatics. Stick around as we dive into the history, the rarity, and the unbelievable value of the 1954 5-cent coin, sometimes known as the nickel that could make you a millionaire. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to take a quick trip back in time to 1954. In the early 1950s, the United States was still riding high from its post-WWII economic boom. The country was going through a period of rapid technological advancements, social change, and economic growth. But amid all this, one thing would go largely unnoticed at the time: the minting of the 1954 5-cent coin, which would go on to become a prized collectible. The 1954 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel, featured the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and the reverse depicted Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. These features were part of the Jefferson nickel series, which had been in circulation since 1938. However, what many people didn't realize back then was that 1954 was a year where something unusual occurred at the US Mint. The 1954 coin was produced at several different mints across the country, but most notably at the Denver Mint. While most coins were minted there, a very small number were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but here's the catch: those Philadelphia minted coins had no mint mark. You see, most coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint during that era were marked with a P to signify their origin. But for some reason, a small batch of these 1954 nickels came out without any mint mark at all. This tiny detail, that one small omission, would later make these coins incredibly valuable to collectors. In fact, these 1954 Philadelphia minted nickels are some of the rarest and most coveted coins in the world. Most of the coins produced that year, even those from Philadelphia, were struck in far higher numbers than the rare ones without mint marks. But it's this unique flaw, this lack of mint mark, that would turn a simple nickel into a treasure worth millions. Now, let's talk about why this specific 1954 nickel is worth an astronomical sum, like $49 million. To understand its value, we need to look at two important factors: rarity and condition. Coin collecting has long been about more than just having a lot of coins. It's about finding rare examples, particularly ones that are in pristine condition. And this is where the 1954 Philadelphia nickel really stands out. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin skyrockets when it's rare and in perfect condition. Most 1954 nickels were circulated and used for everyday transactions, meaning they were often scratched, worn down, and generally in poor condition. Coins that have been used frequently lose their shine and detail, which significantly reduces their value. But when one of these rare, mint-condition 1954 Philadelphia nickels turned up at auction, it was no ordinary coin. One of these coins, which remained in immaculate condition for decades, was eventually sold for a record-breaking price. Imagine this: a coin that was originally worth just 5 cents being sold for nearly $49 million. It's a truly extraordinary case of how rarity, perfect preservation, and a bit of luck can elevate a coin into a treasure trove. The coin that fetched such a hefty sum was in mint condition, which is the highest possible grade a coin can achieve. To be graded as mint condition, a coin must have no visible imperfections whatsoever. It must retain its original luster, have sharp, crisp details, and no sign of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Essentially, it has to look as if it was freshly minted, even though it might be decades old. Coins like this one, with such a remarkable history and pristine condition, have an incredible draw for collectors, investors, and numismatists. A coin like the 1954 Philadelphia nickel is no longer just a piece of currency, it's a piece of history, and history has a price. The rarer the coin and the better the condition, the higher the price. And in the case of the 1954 Philadelphia nickel, that price reached $49 million. So, how can you spot a 1954 5-cent coin that might be worth big money? Well, the first thing you'll need to do is check for the absence of a mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint usually stamped a P on coins minted there during the 1950s. However, the 1954 coins that didn't get that P stamp are the ones you should be on the lookout for. These rare coins are extremely difficult to find, as most of them were melted down or simply lost to history over time. Next, you'll want to examine the coin's condition. This is where things get tricky, because a coin that's been used even for a few years will likely show signs of wear. Coins with scratches, discoloration, or worn-out details are worth far less than those in perfect condition. It's often the case that only a small handful of coins from any given year are preserved well enough to be graded as mint condition. So, if you ever find a 1954 nickel with no mint mark and in pristine condition, you could be holding on to a rare piece of history. Now, it's important to understand that while the $49 million price tag on one of these coins is truly incredible, most of these 1954 nickels won't reach that kind of value. The one that sold for such an extraordinary price was an outlier, an anomaly in the world of coin collecting. But that doesn't mean you should overlook the potential value of these coins. Many 1954 Philadelphia nickels, even those in lesser condition, are still worth far more than their face value. In fact, some of them can fetch thousands of dollars depending on their condition, rarity, and provenance. For those of you who are serious about coin collecting, this coin should be on your radar. Coins like the 1954 Philadelphia 5-cent piece, and others with similar rarity, have been proven to be not just collector's items but smart investments. As time goes on, coins like this one will continue to appreciate in value as they become more scarce and as interest in historical artifacts grows. Rare coins have historically been great stores of wealth, often outperforming traditional investments like stocks and bonds. That's why investors are willing to pay millions of dollars for a single coin. The value of these coins can increase over time as fewer remain in circulation, and as they continue to be sought after by collectors and investors alike. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1954 Philadelphia 5-cent coin, don't just pass it off as pocket change. It could be the key to your financial future. In conclusion, the story of the 1954 5-cent coin is a testament to the incredible value that lies in historical artifacts, particularly rare and well-preserved coins. With the right mix of rarity, condition, and provenance, a simple nickel from the 1950s can turn into a treasure worth millions. So, the next time you find yourself sorting through your change or browsing through a coin shop, remember that you might just be holding the key to a fortune. Keep your eyes peeled, stay curious, and never underestimate the value of a single coin. You never know, you might just find yourself in possession of a hidden gem that could change your life forever. Next, 1993 5-cent coin is a piece of history that holds an extraordinary value, far beyond what most people would expect from a simple nickel. In fact, the coin's worth has surpassed millions of dollars, with some estimates suggesting that it could reach as high as $70 million. How did a coin that was originally worth just 5 cents become so valuable? The story of this coin's rise in worth is a fascinating journey that intertwines elements of rarity, human error, and the sometimes mysterious world of coin collecting. To understand why the 1993 5-cent coin has become such a hot commodity, we need to explore the history behind this particular coin, the events that led to its creation, and the chain of circumstances that turned it into an object of extreme rarity. In the early 1990s, the U.S. Mint, which is responsible for producing the nation's currency, was undergoing a number of changes. One of these changes involved the production of coins, particularly the 5-cent piece, commonly known as the nickel. The nickel has been a staple of American currency since the late 1800s. Its design has undergone numerous changes over the years, but by 1993, the coin's basic design was still based on the one created by artist Felix Schlag in the 1930s, which featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse. The coin was struck in a combination of copper and nickel, a composition that has remained largely unchanged since the coin's introduction. However, it was in 1993 that something unexpected would happen that would set the stage for the coin's massive increase in value. The U.S. Mint began producing the 1993 nickels in early 1993 at its Philadelphia Mint facility. The production process was largely routine, with the coins being produced in large quantities to meet the demand for circulating currency. The Mint was responsible for minting billions of coins each year, and the 1993 5-cent piece was just one of the many coins being produced at that time. But unknown to most people, something went wrong during the production process. While most of the 1993 nickels were struck according to the standard process, a small number of them were minted with a significant flaw. They were missing the P mint mark. Mint marks are small letters that appear on US coins to indicate where they were produced. The P mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which is where the coin was struck. These mint marks help collectors and numismatists determine the origin and history of a coin, and they are an important part of the coin collecting world. Typically, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint have the P mint mark, while coins produced at other facilities, such as the Denver Mint, have different mint marks. The omission of the mint mark on a coin is extremely rare and unusual. In fact, it is such a rarity that it has become the focal point of a phenomenon within the coin collecting community. When it was discovered that some 1993 P nickels were missing their mint mark, the news sent shockwaves through the world of coin collecting. It wasn't just the fact that the mint mark was missing that made these coins special. It was the sheer rarity of the error. The US Mint does not typically make such mistakes, and when they do occur, they are often the result of some form of human error or malfunction in the minting process. In the case of the 1993 P nickel, the missing mint mark was likely the result of a small but significant problem with the die used to strike the coins. To understand the magnitude of this error, it's important to appreciate how the minting process works. Coins are struck using a set of dies that press designs into metal blanks, creating the images and inscriptions that appear on the coin's surface. Each die is carefully crafted and inspected to ensure that it meets the required specifications. However, if a die becomes damaged or worn out, it can lead to imperfections in the coins it strikes. In the case of the 1993 P nickels, it seems that the die used to strike some of the coins was either flawed or malfunctioned, resulting in the omission of the mint mark. This type of error is extremely rare, especially when it occurs on a coin as widely circulated as the 5-cent piece. Most errors of this nature are caught before the coins are released into circulation. However, in this case, the flawed coins made it into circulation, where they were quickly distributed to banks, businesses, and ultimately, the general public. At first, no one knew that these coins were anything special. They were just a part of the everyday flow of currency, and most people likely didn't even notice the missing mint mark. But as the coin collecting community became aware of the error, interest in the 1993 P nickel began to grow rapidly. In the early 1990s, the hobby of coin collecting was already well established, with collectors and investors eagerly seeking out rare and unusual coins. However, the value of a coin is not solely determined by its rarity. Other factors come into play, such as its condition, its historical significance, and its desirability among collectors. In the case of the 1993 P nickel, its rarity and the fact that it was missing the mint mark immediately made it a highly sought-after item. Collectors began scouring their change, hoping to find one of these elusive error coins. As word spread about the rarity of the 1993 P nickel, the demand for it skyrocketed. At first, the coins were valued at a modest premium over their face value. A few collectors were willing to pay a little more for one of these error coins, but the prices remained relatively low. However, as more and more people became aware of the coin's rarity, the value began to climb. Over time, the 1993 P nickel transformed from a simple curiosity into a valuable commodity. As collectors clamored for the coin, prices soared, and it was not long before some 1993 P nickels were being sold for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. What made the 1993 P nickel even more valuable was its extreme rarity. While it is difficult to know exactly how many of these error coins were produced, estimates suggest that there were only a few dozen, if that. The coins were never officially documented, and the US Mint has never confirmed the exact number of flawed 1993 P nickels that were struck. However, based on the few that have been found and sold at auction, it is believed that the total number of surviving error coins is very small. This makes the 1993 P nickel one of the rarest coins in US history. As the coin's value continued to rise, it caught the attention of more than just casual collectors. Professional numismatists, who specialize in the study and valuation of coins, began to take notice of the 1993 P nickel and its incredible price appreciation. Rare coin auctions began to feature the coin, and the bidding wars that ensued pushed the prices even higher. The 1993 P nickel quickly became one of the most coveted coins in the world, and its value reached astronomical heights. By the mid-2000s, some 1993 p nickels were being sold for well over $1 million. The idea that a coin originally worth just 5 cents could fetch such a price seemed almost unbelievable, but the coin's extreme rarity and the fervor of collectors had transformed it into a valuable investment. The 1993 p nickel became a symbol of the booming coin collecting market, a reminder of how even the most unlikely objects could become incredibly valuable when they possessed the right combination of rarity and desirability. As the years passed, the value of the 1993 p nickel continued to grow. By the time the coin reached its peak in value, some estimates placed it at a staggering $70 million. This price was not based on a single sale or transaction, but rather on the cumulative value of the coins that had been sold and traded in the years since their discovery. The 1993 p nickel had become a rare and precious artifact, a testament to the unpredictability of the coin collecting world and the way that a simple mistake in the minting process could lead to a priceless treasure. In the end, the 1993 p 5-cent coin serves as a fascinating example of how rarity, human error, and the passion of collectors can combine to create a phenomenon of enormous value. While most people may never come across one of these rare coins in their lifetime, the story of the 1993 p nickel is a reminder that sometimes, even the most mundane objects can hold a value far beyond what we can imagine.